Black metropolis, Bronzeville, where African Americans from the South lived and thrived in Chicago during the Great Migration.
Now an urban historian is going viral as he brings the history of this iconic neighborhood and others to the masses. I went along for the ride to see the rich culture of Bronzeville, past and present.
Everything dope about America comes from Chicago. This building is very, very much living proof.
Pilgrim Baptist Church in the heart of Bronzeville.
The birth of gospel music in this country.
Where the voice of Mahalia Jackson echoed off the wood ceilings and pews. And there's Dr. Daniel Hale Williams.
He performed the world's first successful open heart surgery at Providence Hospital, located on the south side of Chicago, America's first all-black hospital. Hello, everybody.
This urban,
Welcome to Chicago Mahogany Tour.
and some may say unlikely, historian
The lakefront used to be on Michigan Avenue.
can tell you thousands of facts about every part of Chicago.
From Cermak to 55th,
But on a tour
audit the State Street corridor.
with a captivated crowd that looks very different than him,
Look at these amazing, still intact 1890s mansions.
Sherman Dilla Thomas shares one of his favorite neighborhoods.
Bronzeville tells a very unique Chicago story.
The Black metropolis, created in the early 20th century, when hundreds of thousands of African Americans moved to Chicago from the South during the Great Migration. They hoped for a better life here. And when they were restricted to a certain part of Chicago, they thrived in a city within a city. Their own churches, stores, homes, restaurants, blues clubs in Bronzeville.
So we credit the build out of Bronzeville as starting at 18th Street.
There's pride in this history that Dilla learned from his father as a young boy on the South Side. But it was his own daughter who sparked an idea to share it on social media,
Yo, what's up? It's your favorite neighborhood historian, Dilla.
where he's become a viral historian.
I wouldn't have known what TikTok was at all without the help of my now 10-year-old daughter. She was 8.
She wanted to dance with Dad on the app.
And I tried it, and we didn't do too good at the viewers. I thought that we should start telling Chicago history stories. And I did.
My favorite Chicagoan ever is Earl B. Dickerson.
Every major sports team in Chicago threw their support behind Dilla to get a tour bus
Originally, this was called the South Parkway Boulevard.
and make these kind of history experiences a reality.
When you walk into a room, they see the dreads, the baseball cap, black man from Auburn Gresham. Do you feel like you have to fight to prove that you have credibility?
Absolutely. And I don't have to have a tweed coat and a bow tie and a PhD to have the information accurate. But I follow very strict rules before I allow myself to post or open my mouth about something historic.
You do your homework.
Yeah, I do my homework. If you're old like me and you pity the fool, Mr. T was captain of the football team.
And to this audience, it shows.
The thing I love about Bronzeville the most is that almost on every block, some luminary lived there. If you're on 40th and Vincennes, Nat King Cole lived there. If you're on 37th in Michigan, Dr. Margaret Burroughs, who founded the DuSable Museum of Black History. And we could probably do that for pretty much every block in Bronzeville.
Louis Armstrong, Ida B. Wells. But on many of these blocks, the decline is glaring.
It was a process that started in the 1950s. The city had been disinvesting for many years.
Bernard Lloyd is working to revitalize Bronzeville. He says in the 50s, people also started moving out of crowded Bronzeville when fair housing laws started letting people live and shop in other neighborhoods.
Between 1950 and 2010, the community lost 3/4 of its population.
Now times are changing yet again. Bronzeville is growing with new residents and a winery. Lloyd's company moved into a vacant building and he's investing in a culinary hub on 51st Street, an artist incubator in the historic Forum building on 43rd.
There's still such a rich heritage that is visible here when you know where to look.
And Bronzeville was just declared a National Heritage Site.
It makes me very proud and it humbles me. They graciously sell this building.
It gives this urban historian hope
We have not replaced a lot of the buildings yet.
that as he shares the stories of Bronzeville block by block,
So this designation allows for us to push forward, right, in requesting resources and requesting to save certain buildings. I really, really appreciate you all, but also to believe in the people that call that place home, because thank you for your time. Please drive safely. It has historic and contemporary value.
There are only 2 other National Heritage Sites in Illinois, so this is huge for Bronzeville.
What a great story. And Dilla is a fantastic follow on Instagram.
Yes.
How did he learn all this history?
So his father was a Chicago police officer for decades. He used to ride around with him, not on hours, but off hours, and he used to make him read the phone book. So he knows every street in every neighborhood, the numbers, the names. And then his mom would buy like the neighborhood books from like the Walgreens or CVS or
Right.
something. And he used to study those as a little kid.
So how do you take these tours?
I was wondering the same thing.
Chicago Mahogany Tours, you Google that. He has a website set up. With all this support, he's been able to put that together. You can go in and buy your tickets. And I mean, it's just amazing to be on that bus.
And to see what he's done.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. Wonderful story.